Antenna Doctor is the code name for a new feature in StreamSets Data Collector 3.9.0 that gives us additional insights into errors in our pipelines. Here we have a simple pipeline to read data from Oracle and write to the local file system. And if we look here, we're using the multi-threaded JDBC origin. We're reading from a particular Oracle host that I have defined as a pipeline parameter, runtime parameter there. And I'm going to limit my reading to the Yardsets 3 table in the SDC schema. Now, I might have just created this pipeline following the documentation, and I'd like to check that it's all valid. I'm going to validate the pipeline. Now, what I've forgotten to do is install any kind of JDBC driver to read from Oracle. Previous versions of Data Collector would give me this same error message here in red. But now with Antenna Doctor, I get more information than just this fairly terse message. I can click View Details, and it tells me that I need to install the JDBC driver for the database, and explains that we can't ship JDBC drivers with Data Collector. They're not our intellectual property. They're not always licensed in a compatible way, and I've got to manually install them. So it gives me a bunch of links here to the documentation and even the correct download page on the Oracle website. But I kind of know what I'm doing here. I'm not going to drill into the documentation. Instead, what I'm going to do is go to the package manager, go down to external libraries, and then install my Oracle driver. You see I've got quite a few JDBC drivers already, but I don't have the one that I need here. So if we just browse around here, Oracle JDBC lib, I'm going to use this ojdbc7.jar. So we open that and upload it, and I need to restart Data Collector. So anytime we change the jars on the class path, this is what we have to do. And it only takes about 10 seconds or so to restart. In fact, I could probably retry about now, and just log back in here and go back into my pipeline. Now I've installed the JDBC driver. Let's try again. Let's try running our pipeline. And here it's failed again. Now, without Antenna Doctor, we'd be left with just this very terse error here, complaining about that it can't find the XML type Java class. But again, with Antenna Doctor, I can click in and view details, and it actually tells me the JDBC driver requires some additional jar files to read the XML type data type. So this gives me a bit more information, and in fact I can go back to the database schema and see that my Yardsets 3 table does in fact have a column with this XML type that isn't covered by the Oracle JDBC driver on its own. It needs some additional jar files. Now, I did prepare myself for this, so I have those handy. I don't need to go download them, so I can just, again, upload and browse, and I happen to have those in this extras directory. And what I'm going to do, I can't select both of them, but I can upload one and say upload, and then I don't want to restart. I can just cancel here and then upload the second one. So XML parser v2. And now I've got both of those dependencies. I can restart Data Collector. So again, it should take just about 10 seconds to restart, so it can clear out that old Java process and load all of those new jar files, particularly those two new dependencies. And let's get back in here and back into my pipeline. And let's see if we can actually preview the data so that I can actually see something live here rather than writing it to my local disk. It's going to be a bit more interesting. So if we hit preview and run, and We can indeed see the data from Oracle, and in fact we've only got one row with some test data there. It's got ID1, and that XML type has been rendered into a string in Data Collector. So there you have it. Antenna Doctor gives us additional insight into errors that occur in StreamSets Data Collector.